guys, welcome to my channel Subhash Sir's classes. In the previous chemistry class for class 11, we had started with the chemical world, the measurements, the units, and somehow we had reached up to SI units. And in this class, we shall just continue with that. After the definition and the usage of the SI units, the 7 SI units like mass, length, time, temperature, electric current or amount of substance, luminosity, all these 7 units we have to think of some derived units and some basic differences between the terms. Terms like mass and weight often confuses us. How mass is different from weight? Many students are there who use kilogram for both of them. What is your weight? 50 kg. What is your mass? 50 kg. Then mass and weight should not be two different terms. So what is mass and how it is different from weight? Mass is something that has space, that has the ability to occupy space. So when you are talking of mass and weight, can we find some similes and some differences? Mass is the amount of matter which is present in a body. If you talk of an elephant, it has a huge mass in it, a rabbit, a small mass in it. So mass differs from body to body. But what is this mass? This is the amount of matter present in a body. And what is it weight? If you weigh a body, then it will not be the same everywhere. If you measure the weight of a body at the poles, it will be different from that at the equator. Why? Because the acceleration due to gravity differs at different places. The pull of the earth determines the weight. If the pull, the attraction is larger at a point, then its weight will be larger, but the mass will remain the same. So an elephant 4 tons in weight on earth will be 48 tons in Jupiter, and an elephant 6 tons on earth will be just a single ton, at 1 metric ton on moon. So weight can differ from places to places. So it remains mass remains constant, but weight differs, so it is variable. It is weight is determined by the pull of a planet towards its center. And I think pull of a planet towards its center can be determined by a single term, gravity. So depends on gravity. Weight depends on gravity, while mass does not depend on anything. It will be the same all through the universe. Wherever you go, the mass will remain the same. It will occupy the same volume, but the weight will differ. A bucket of water weighs say 10 kg on earth. It can be 120 kg on Jupiter. It can be 1.6 kg on moon. So a bucket can also contain 10,000 kg if it is placed on the sun or a huge star with a larger gravity value. Then it will just increase the weight of the body million times. So weight can differ, it can be variable, but mass remains constant. So this is the basic difference. The unit here is kg, here the unit is kg weight. If this is kg, then this kg weight can be 1 kg weight is equal to 9.8 newtons. Similarly, gram will be gram weight. The unit of mass is gram in CGS units, and weight is gram weight, which is equal to 980 dynes. So see, there is a basic difference. 1 gram will have a weight 1 gram weight, and that will be equal to the pull of the earth with the value 980 dynes. So this is the difference between mass and weight. Let us take the next two things, volume and density. Just consider the volume of a classroom. You have a huge classroom, only 10 kids are there, there is a single teacher. The room will be too spacious, the hall will be spacious. But if a small room tries to contain say 40 students and a teacher, then it will be very crowded. And in this case we are talking of density. When the same mass is contained in a larger volume, then it has a low density. But if the same mass is contained in a smaller volume, then it has a larger density. So density is mass upon volume. Volume is the space occupied by a body, and that is also determined by the physical state. And when this volume is measured, we are measuring it in liter or in meter cube or in centimeter cube, which is also written as cc. And is there any link between these things? 1 meter cube is 1000 liter. Means, what does that mean? If you have a tap, a tub of 1 meter length, 1 meter breadth and 1 meter height, then it will have a volume of 1 meter cube and it will contain 1000 liters. So 1 meter cube is 1000 liter, which is equal to 10 to the power 3 liters. Since 1 liter is 10 to the power 3 milliliters, so this will be 10 to the power 6 milliliter. And 1 centimeter cube or 1 cc is equal to 1 milliliter. So 10 to the 6 milliliter will be 10 to the 6 cc. So now you find that 10 to the power 6 cc is 10 to the power 6 ml, or 1 cc is 1 ml. So you have to interrelate 1 meter cube is 1000 or 10 cube liters. This is equal to 10 cube milliliters. This is 10 to the 6 milliliter. This is equal to 10 to the 6 cc, and hence this is 10 to the 6 centimeter whole cube. So this is a correlation you must remember. While and density, the unit of density will be kg per meter cube or gram per cc, which is centimeter cube. And for the example of density of water, say how much is density of water? Density of water is 1 gram per milliliter. This can be 1 gram per cc. This can be 10 cube grams per 10 cube cc, and this can be 10 to the power 6 grams by 10 to the power 6 cc. Now this part 10 to the power 6 cc becomes 1 meter cube, and you know 10 cube grams, 1 kg is 10 cube grams. So 1000 10 cube kg will be 10 to the power 6 gram. So this will be 10 cube kg per meter cube. So density of water will be 1000 kg per meter cube or 1 gram per milliliter or 1 gram per cc. These are the favored units that are used. So after volume and density, let us go for temperature. Temperature, as you know, is measured in different scales. What are the scales of temperature? there are so many scales of temperature. There is a Celsius scale, there is a Reaumur scale called Reaumur, the German way, and there is a British scale, Fahrenheit, and there is a Kelvin scale. What are the units? In Celsius we measure them in degree centigrade, in Reaumur degree R, in Fahrenheit degree F, but in Kelvin simply K. And what is the relation? The relation is found when you take a thermometer, and in the thermometer you are graduating the melting point of water here, the boiling point of water here. Then for Celsius this is degree C, 0 degree centigrade, and this is 100 degree centigrade. So the difference between the boiling point and melting point is 100 degree. In case of Reaumur, the melting point is at 0, but the boiling point is at 80 degree R, 0 degree R and 80 degree R. So the difference between the two, boiling point and melting point, becomes 80 units. And in case of Fahrenheit, the melting point starts at 32 degree F and the boiling point at 212 degree F. So what will be the number of graduations? 212 minus 32 gives us 180. Just to remember, sum of these two is this. And in case of Kelvin, these values differ. This becomes, for water the melting point is at 273.15 K and the boiling point is exactly 100 units above 370.15 K. So the difference is 100. That's why degree centigrade and Kelvin favor the same calculations. And now we can find if the temperature in Celsius scale, then it is graduated 100 by in 100 units. So C by 100 gives us 1. There are 100 graduations, and dividing by 100 we get 1 graduation. So for 1 graduation we get C by 100. For Reaumur there are 80 divisions, so each division will be R by 80. For Fahrenheit there are 180 divisions, and the difference is any Fahrenheit value of temperature will be F minus 32 ahead, and dividing by 180 we get the same. And in this case Kelvin will be K minus 273.5 or K minus 273 by 100. These factors are equal. So if we divide by 20, what we get? C by 5 is equal to R by 4 is equal to F minus 32 by 9 is equal to K minus 273 by 5. So this is the formula used for conversion. What is an example? Suppose you are asked how much temperature will it be if the temperature of a person is 32 degree centigrade, how much it will be in the other scales? That means you have to convert 40 degrees C is equal to dash R is equal to dash degree F is equal to dash K. How to answer this question? First we take for Reaumur, C by 5 is equal to R by 4. That means 40 by 5 will be R by 4. So R is equal to 8 into 4, 32. So you write here 32. Next, to change into Fahrenheit, we write C by 5 is equal to F minus 32 by 9. That means 40 upon 5 will be F minus 32 by 9. That means F minus 32 will be 9 into 8, so 72. That means F will be 72 plus 32, which is 104. So here the answer is 104 degree F. That means 40 degree centigrade is equal to 104 degree Fahrenheit. And what about Kelvin? c by 5 is equal to k minus 273 by 5, cancel 5. So 40 is equal to k minus 273, that means k will be equal to 40 plus 273, which is equal to 313 k. So this one is 313 k. So you can find formula. Suppose c is equal to 5 into this much, so 5 by 9 into f minus 32, and f will be equal to 9 into c by 5 plus 32. This can be also another method to discover how to convert one system of unit into another. And after this, let us discuss about a new thing, scientific notations. What are scientific notations? When the numbers used in scientific calculations are written, they are not written like 312.5 or 26.8314 or 180.00125. Things are not always written like this. There is a uniform civil code, there is a uniform code for writing these numbers, and the writing style becomes n into 10 to the power n, where n lies between 0 and 10, while n is an integer. So how much will be 312.5? 312.5 will be, keep the value between 0 and 10, so 3 will be the value. So 3.125 into decimal shift to 2 places, so 10 square. Similarly 26.8314 can be written as, out of 26 you have to take the first digit 2, 2.68314 into 10. Similarly 180.0025 can be written as 1.800025 into 10 to the power 2. And by approximation we can keep two things, two decimal places. So the first one becomes 3.13 into 10 square approximately, because there is a 5 here, there is a 3 less than 5, so we can write it 2.68 into 10 to the power 1. Here there is a 0 less than 5, so we can write it 1.80 into 10 to the power 2. So this is called scientific notation, where the value before the decimal, the numerical before the decimal always lies between 0 and 10, means it is one digital always, and the power of 10 may be positive or negative. Suppose you have 0.000084, so in scientific notation this can be, keep it here 8.4 into 10 to the power, just count 1 2 3 4 5 minus 5. So this is how we write scientific notations. Now about calculations, scientific notations are required when we have a sum, we have a difference, we have a multiplication, or a division. Suppose you are dividing 2400, so 22,400. You have a number, A is 22,400 and B is say 5.6000, or you keep it 560. So how to add, subtract? Difference is subtraction. We are adding, subtracting, multiplying or dividing. In these operations, how scientific notation helps us keep these numbers with, write them as scientific notation. In the scientific notation it will be 2.24 into 1 2 3 4 10 to the 4, and this will be 5.6 into 5.60 into 10 to the power 2. So now when these two are different, how to divide them easily? So let us keep the two exponents equal. Can they be made equal? If I just have this as 10 square and this as 10 square, this can be 224 into 10 square. Now when I divide A upon B, this can be 224 into 10 square divided by 5.6 into 10 square, so that this part cancels and we have got 224 by 5.6. Then we can multiply 10 on each, so that we get 2240 by 56, and this can be 40. When we add them, it is also easy. When you are adding A plus B, if the exponent part is equal, then we can write 224 into 10 square plus 5.60 into 10 square, then the 10 square part is common and we have 224 plus 5.60, which is easy to add, 229.60 into 10 square. This is the profit, this is the favor we get by using scientific notation. So add or subtract, multiply or divide, use the scientific notation and keep the exponents equal, so that it will be easier for you. And scientific notation is thus so helpful. And in the next class we are going to deal with the approximations, the errors in calculation, and when dealing with them we shall also talk about significant figures. We have two things to decide in the next class, two things to discuss in the next class. They are significant figures and errors in measurement. Till then, watch this video and keep yourself ready for the next class dealing with higher things. So thank you for watching. Bye.